Hey everyone, this is Mayan Gordon. We are back live at 5, and today I've got another really special guest. Her name is Nicole Smith. But before we dive into today's interview, you guys know what to do. Go ahead and post in the comments what's one thing that you're grateful for and where in the world are you watching from. I'm coming to you from Spokane, Washington. Nicole, where are you based out of? And then also, could you tell people just like, who are you as a person?
Absolutely, happy to. Hi, everyone. My name is Nicole. I live in Vancouver, British Columbia, right downtown. It's very sunny and beautiful right now. Who I am as a person, I'm a what you see is what you get kind of girl. I do not fear my guilty pleasures nor keep them secret. I love cooking, true crime, wine, and anything reality TV because that's just who I am.
That's awesome. Yeah, we all got to have those guilty pleasures for sure. So
Mhm.
we're here today to talk a lot about influencer marketing, but I think it always really helps to give people context on like where you come from and kind of how you got to where you are today. So where did you grow up? Did you grow up in Vancouver? And kind of like what was life like for you? Did you have, a small kind of family? Did you like what was your childhood like and kind of how did you progress from there?
Wow. My childhood, I'm sure everyone has stories. Mine was a wild ride. I grew up in a town called Barrie, Ontario. It's a city. It's actually one of the fastest growing cities in Canada. It's about 45 minutes north of Toronto. I have five brothers, two sisters, four stepsisters, and it's
Big family.
all very mixed, very Melrose Place, but that's the way I like it. And I'm really close with all of them. We have a great time. I grew up in a household with four boys, so I learned how to be tough and speak my mind at a very early age. And yeah, I think I was like almost had the dominant personality over the four boys. And
Where
I don't
are
have
you
it
in
any
that?
other.
Sorry, where are you in that pecking order? Were you like the youngest? Are you the oldest, the youngest, in the middle?
I'm second oldest.
Second oldest.
Yeah,
Nice. Yep.
yeah.
I'm the oldest of my family. It definitely, even just being in, I think that upper, one of the first kids gives you kind of that like that confidence, and you're like, I'm the oldest. I get to tell you guys what to do, type of deal.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
I think so. And then being surrounded by my brothers, growing up, I wasn't a Barbie girl or My Little Pony, or I was really, really heavily into Marvel and DC, and still am to this day. So like
What's
anything
your
comic,
favorite title? What's your favorite title?
my favorite, like of the Marvel franchise, the movies.
Of the comics themselves. Like, did you have a comic that you read, or was it mostly
Oh,
movie based?
no, I was really heavy into X-Men. I wanted to be Rogue. Actually, I used
Awesome.
to, my hair is naturally really curly, and I used to get that white Halloween spray and give myself the little tufty streak. I used to wear gloves around the house, and if my brothers would make me mad, I pretend to take them off so they thought I had rogue superpowers. So if I, that's how I got my way, just like one finger off, like listen to me.
That's awesome. So after kind of like growing up in, I already forget the name of the town, but in
There is,
Ontario,
yeah.
in Bering, did you stay there? Did you like did you go to college? Like, what was it like after high school? Did you continue in there in high school, or did you go somewhere else?
So after high school, I really felt pressure to live my life cyclically. Barrie is a town that you grow up in that you kind of want to break free from unless you immediately want to have kids and start to raise a family. So it's a very small town girl mentality where I, rather than go see and travel the world, which is what I wish I did in my 20s, I immediately went to University of Guelph, decided that wasn't for me because I rushed it. Took a year off and then was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. Thought working in TV and film would be great, so I moved to Vancouver and took a special effects course for a year, which was a lot of fun. And I was actually in the makeup community and world up until 2 years ago when I found my passion for marketing and advertising, and here I am now.
That's awesome. So it sounds like a lot of kind of searching and like trying to figure out what it was that you really had a passion for. And it sounds like you were starting to figure out that it was something a little bit maybe art related or creative related, let's say. So what kind of led you into influencer marketing? And before you get going, I just want to shout out a couple people who are watching today. We got Ethan. Thank you so much. Stefan, what's good? Stefan's going to be a guest, I believe, tomorrow. We got Cynthia from New York. What is good? Brianne, how's it going? We got Miss Wandy, Mike, and Andrea, or Andrea. I can never tell the pronunciation, so I apologize. Thank you guys all so much for watching. We're about to dive into some real juicy stuff here. So again, how did you move from, you said you're in the beauty world. Give us a little context. What does that mean you were in the beauty world? And then what led you into influencer marketing, which you do now?
Right. So when I was doing special effects makeup, which is blood, guts, and gore, zombies, which is a lot of fun, and I can do that if I choose. I don't have time anymore. The real money maker was being a manager for Sephora. So I was in charge of the skincare department of Sephora in Barrie, Ontario. And we had a lot of goals to reach and a lot of targets to hit and a lot of brands to cater to. So I had to sort of teach myself marketing. So whether we're doing it through social media and trying to attract new guests, new clients into the store, or hitting target numbers so that we can have more success with our brands. And we did end up having that success. I did manage a social media account. I did get to create some online presence for our small store to drive people there. And that's when I found out, like, I can do this. And then after 4 incredible years, I decided that I was going to take the next step, and I began working for a marketing agency in Barrie called 360, where I learned a lot, basically the industry from the ground up, from an industry expert, not just me being self-taught anymore.
That's awesome. And just to give people a little bit of context on Sephora, like for people who've never heard of Sephora, Sephora was my mom's absolute dream beauty place to shop. The makeup tends to be pretty expensive compared to like some other places. I'd say it's like the top tier of the makeup shop that you're going to go to. They've definitely positioned themselves very well, in their presence and in their brand as being like a high-end makeup and skincare place. So that's that. What do you mean when you say that you got to learn the industry from the ground up? Like, what does that even mean for people? And what are some of those things that you learned at 360 that really stuck with you now that you're at a different place?
So when I was putting into practice these methods of trying to attract people into the store, at the same time, I was also running my own freelance business for bridal season. So I had to learn how to make ads, how to create target audiences. And that was a lot of late night YouTubes, a lot of podcasts, a lot of article reading. So when I brought that piece of fire with me to the interview, I guess I should have had more experience than I did, but she saw a passion in me, and she taught me things that I didn't know before, and I get to expand upon them all the time. So like mastering marketing and advertising through ads, SEO, creating data reports, like improving innovation. Even I started to learn like out of home marketing, which is when rather than you see an ad on Instagram, you would see a billboard for a particular product. So we did that as well. So I got to experience more of that. Took that knowledge with me, continued to grow and self-teach because I was so passionate about the job. And now I've actually landed my dream job here in Vancouver, which is with ShopShout.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about that. What is the job that you do now? What is ShopShout? And what makes it your dream job?
That's a great question. So ShopShout is an influencer marketing platform. We're online based. What we do is we connect influencers, both of micro and macro size, with brands that want to collaborate. So we're the ones behind the scenes, behind the curtain, making sure that everything flows, everyone's being taken care of, both the influencer and the brand, and that everyone's just getting extremely great community support. I'm the community manager for ShopShout. We have a small but hungry team that are always constantly trying to, better the experience for the user, whether it is a brand or an influencer. What makes us different from other influencer platforms, I think for sure, is the level of respect and support both influencers and brands receive from our teams. So we really do care. We're super passionate. We want to strip the vanity of influencer marketing and make it more genuine, which is why working with micro influencers is just so pure, because they have a trusted audience, they're content creators, they have hustle. Like when I say that this community works, they work. Our influencers are on top of it. They hustle every single day, and we love seeing that growth. And that's why we try to provide value back to the community, whether it's Instagram tips and tricks, staying on top of social media news. We do the research for you, and we'll post about it so that you can focus on content creation. And
That's awesome.
yeah, and influencers can send us an email anytime. They can send us a DM anytime. We're on a first name basis with the majority of them because they're our community, and without them, we wouldn't have a business. And it's my dream job because I get to see that we add value to people's lives. And these are people that hustle. Content creation and being an influencer, it's not the most glamorous life. It is work. It's hard work. And that's why we want to add that value back to them.
That's awesome. Now, I know I have a couple questions, but I just want to let everyone in the audience know if you guys have questions about influencer marketing, now is the absolute best time to ask them, where you're going to get some real solid answers. So make sure to go ahead and post any of those questions in the comments. So here's my first question is, sounds like you're doing a lot of work. How are you monetizing? Like, how does your business make money?
Our business makes money by continuing relationships with amazing brands. We've got long-term relationships with brands who really appreciate what we do, and we save them time so they can focus on bigger picture things, especially if it's an agency representing a brand. They've got a lot of work to do too, and the future of influencer marketing isn't in the future, it's now. Doing digital advertising and getting real people to shout out your brand is a great way to get new and ideal customers and clients. And that's what our influencers help you do. So by maintaining amazing relationships with brands, and as well keeping our influencers
I want to dive
happy.
even more into the nitty gritty. So does that mean, like, how actually are you making money? Are you charging brands for connecting them with influencers? Is it part of an influencer contract that you're taking a percentage of because it's saving them that amount of time where they would have to hire someone and spend that amount of money anyways? Like, what does that look like? Where is the money which side is it coming from, so to speak?
100% brands, never influencers. Everything influencer facing for ShopShout is absolutely free to do. We even have paid campaigns offered by brands. We don't take a percentage of that. We get our business from the brands who are actually in the long term saving time and money and getting added media value by us managing this very huge and important aspect of marketing so they can focus on bigger picture things. And we've had incredible results. We've had long-term clients that absolutely love the platform and they want to innovate their next campaign. And what if we do a giveaway this time? Or maybe can we up the spend so I can get 10 more influencers? Like it's always coming from the brands, the same that they would pay any other influencer marketing platform, but it's never from the influencers.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I just kind of want to dive even more into this. So it sounds like they're almost hiring you for a couple different like roles or positions or value points. Is it kind of this? And I honestly, you say, the same way they'd hire any other platform or spend money on a platform. I don't necessarily know. And I think most of the audience doesn't know what that looks like in any amount. Because honestly, most of the agencies or the platforms are very secretive. They don't want to talk about where the money's coming from or like how it works. So to me, it sounds like what you're describing is they're almost hiring you either as like consultants, more or less, to be helping them vet the different influencers and match the different influencers, or even just as almost like instead of them having and building out a influencer management team within their own company, they're going and hiring you guys. Is that kind of describing how it works?
Yeah, absolutely. And when brand signs up, there's different packages. Obviously, we want to help brands grow too. So we have different budget packages for different brands based on the needs of the business as well. So they initially sign up for a specific package. What they end up getting is an extended customer service that is unlike any other. So if a brand signs up and they say, well, I really want these, we try not to set the expectation that we're here 24/7 for each brand.
Right.
We get to it, but we have a lot of brands that we're working with, and we're a small but hungry team. So we've got, over 44,000, 50,000 influencers to manage, as well as X number of brands. So
yeah, that's a lot on the plate for sure.
It's a lot on the plate, but the main focus for us is still extreme customer service. So I'll jump on a phone call with a brand and, help them out. If they're like, well, Nicole, we signed up and we got our influencers, but I noticed that our follower count's not growing. And I'll say, okay, well, let's take a look at your Instagram page. When was the last time you posted? Are you are you engaged with the current followers that you have? Are you adding value? I see a lot of text posts, but I don't see any faces. And posts with faces do 35% better than just a product shot or a flat lay.
Write that down. The face is the moneymaker.
Okay, that's a great tip. Because you can gain followers, but it's also your job to entertain them and maintain them. It's not free. People get bored. So if you have an account and your goal is to get more followers, we're going to do what we're going to do on our end. But, you also have to do your job too as a brand.
Yeah, there's still work involved. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's not magic. It's hustle and it's work. And I'm there to let them know that, okay, if you're wondering why it's not working, let's talk about this. Where's your engagement? Yeah. Just like free consulting.
Yeah, no, it sounds amazing. So like what size businesses, brands are you working with? Like, I'm sure there's a lot of people, myself included, like for my glass blowing brand, where I've kind of wondered, like, what's the minimum to get the foot in the door to start working with like a company like yours, so that we can start, seeing some progress and like having someone who we even feel like is there to help us and support us. Because I know a lot of people maybe have the resources, maybe they have an extra person that they could put on, their Instagram account to be doing some of these things. But having the whole big entity that is really supporting you, what are those packages start at typically?
That's a great question. So we have a package that starts at $9.95, and that's for 5 influencers a month. Which is great, because if you ever negotiate with an influencer and you see a media kit for one influencer, you're getting a deal with ShopShout. And you as a brand get to decide requirements such as where they live, perhaps age range, what their interests are, what their reach and follower count may be, their engagement rate. And then we go out and we do the heavy lifting, and we find them for you. It's actually not become a heavy lifting job anymore, because our influencers are so eager. And we have another great part is that we have influencers of every niche. We don't just focus on beauty. If you got a pet food that you want to promote, we have pet influencers. If you're into physical fitness, we got those guys too. If you need a foodie, if you need somebody who likes car accessories, we can find you those people.
That's awesome. And we got a couple good questions coming in here. So this first one from Taylor. Can you give a couple examples about how to start with brands from scratch? And Taylor, I assume you mean kind of on the agency side or on the media side. But let me know if you meant on the influencer side, and we can kind of pivot from there. But how do you guys start with brands and working with them from scratch? Is there like a big discovery call? How do you find out the information that you need to be able to deliver the best service to them?
Are you speaking more to like a startup, something that's brand new, and they're looking to just dive deep into influencer marketing, or like the first communication that we have with a brand of any size?
That's a good question. Let's take it from the perspective of, let's say it's an already established brand. It's not a completely new brand, but that's a really great point, that it sounds like there's a different like need for a brand that's brand new and doesn't necessarily have a large following than a brand that maybe does have a large following. So maybe even if, let's start with there. What are those differences between a brand that's brand new and one that's already established from your point of view?
For sure.
In your experience?
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually have we have something for everyone. So if you're a brand that was just starting out, you're already very dialed in and realize that influencer marketing is the way to go. Let's pretend that my name's Jessica and I have a beauty box, and I know the competition is huge because there's thousands of beauty box subscriptions that are out there. I would consult with you to try to figure out what makes yours different, who's your target audience, and then let's host a giveaway rather than a shout out. So if you want a giveaway with the rules of, in order to enter to win this amazing box that I had these incredible experiences with, really love this clay mask, by the way, all you have to do is tag someone in the comments who would love this box and follow Jessica's Beauty Box on Instagram as a call to action. That's bringing brand awareness. So that would be a goal for a startup. But say a brand that we work with right now that's very established, we would do something a little bit more extreme, like say an influencer mission. So we worked with Think Bar, which is it's a very healthy protein bar.
Gotcha.
They were being sold in Walmart, but they were being sold in the pharmacy section. So although the brand is established and it's available in major retailers like Walmart, people weren't necessarily purchasing it as much because they couldn't find it. So we would do So we would do an influencer mission, which is showing an influencer taking a video showing the path to purchase. So now they know where it's available. So this is really beneficial if you can't purchase online.
That's super cool. Okay, so it's really identifying like where is the brand at in terms of what's their major problem? Do they just need more people to even know they exist? Do they need people to know where they exist? Do they need, I assume there's some maybe even that are centered around changing the perception around the brand. Like maybe the brand has a lot of awareness, but it's seen as something that isn't socially conscious. And so then maybe you do a campaign around, or like you get influencers to do kind of like a social campaign around the brand and like why it's good for the community or good for the environment, or tie it into something a little bit more social like that. So Taylor did clarify his question, and he wanted to know, what would a new influencer do to start working with brands? From what you've seen, I'm sure you guys have, experienced influencers who sign up, brand new influencers sign up. So if someone's relatively new, what are some of the best things as an influencer they can start doing that are going to allow them to long-term be successful as an influencer?
That is such a good question because the struggle is real. It is a lot of hustle. And all I can truly say is to stay motivated. Plan content, plan your content thoughtfully, look up other influencers that might be in your niche, connect with them and grow. There's lots of influencer collaborations and collaboration loops that you can join. Post regularly, use your authentic voice. So if you were to sign up to ShopShout and you see the campaign details for a micro influencer that has 2,500 followers, we will provide you with a caption example, but we want to see your voice and your tonality when you do post. What is your experience with the brand? Don't be a robot. This is not Kylie Jenner marketing. No tea, no shade at her. This is real people selling real products. And that's the best part about micro influencers, is you get to strip some of that vanity and some of that oversaturation. It's honest marketing and it's real. And there's influencers that at times have been like, you know what, I don't feel comfortable because I didn't like the product. So we'll reach out to the brand and say, just, heads up, we obviously don't want our influencer to post something that's not organic to them. The brand will be like, oh, no worries. You know what? They're actually using it wrong. Here's how you actually use it properly. We'll relay that to the influencer, and the influencer will be like, oh my God, thank God, I love it now.
Yeah, no, that's really cool to hear. Kind of one thing that jumped out at me, you provide caption examples. So you're actually not just like, here's a campaign, take it, do what you want. You're kind of giving them assistance on what you think is going to allow them to best execute on that campaign. Are there other kind of assistances you give within, let's say, any particular campaign besides a suggested caption? Are there like guidelines of what the brand is looking for? What does that look like? Like when someone on your website who's an influencer says, I want to be a part of this campaign, what happens next?
So they'll be able to, it's almost like an online store. So if you think about Best Buy and you're the electronics section, that's on our website, shopandshop.com, you'll see the campaign hub. And that's where you have different campaigns for every niche. So if I'm a foodie and I see that there's an experience mission with a restaurant where I could take it in delivery and then send them a rave review, I'll click on that campaign and there you'll see caption requirements, which is not us. It's not a dictatorship. We just want you to mention this particular thing. It's the brand's goal, but keep it light and keep it you. We have shout out requirements, which is pretty much a step-by-step guide for a successful post based on the brand's needs. And we'll even provide some hashtag requirements so the brand gets the exposure that they want as well.
Awesome. No, that's really cool. I think, a lot of influencers tend to feel kind of lost when starting out and how to really deliver the best, campaigns so that not only like they feel they're doing a good job, but that they know the brand is happy. Because I know a lot of times, and I think I can totally see where you guys come in on this side. A lot of the times the brands are not great at communicating what they're looking for with the influencer, and to have kind of the middleman to pull that out from them and kind of get all those juicy details and questions, I think is super, super valuable from the influencer side to be able to be presented with that.
Further, when an influencer has completed a campaign and they submit the direct link to that campaign, the brand actually gets notified and they get to go and observe, and then they get to rate it. So right now we have a heart system, which is 1 out of 5. We're converting that into a point system, which the influencer will eventually be able to transfer into cash. So we've gamified it. So you want to receive a free product and give a shout out where the image is dark or you didn't complete the brand side, well, you might get 1 heart, and then other brands are going to see that and be like, maybe not her. So we have gamified it because we want our influencers to grow and be successful, and we're here to push as well as help.
It reminds me of like the Angie's List of influencer marketing you're creating there. That's awesome. That's super cool. Okay, so we got another question here, which is, what does it mean if your reach is too small, and how do you fix that? For example, if your engagement rate is really low, like what can either let's say the influencer directly do, or even on the brand level, like let's say they have a campaign, they've got these 5 influencers, for example, or 10 influencers, and it's just not performing well. What do they look at? How do they improve and make progress from there?
Okay, so if your reach and engagement is too low, I suggest, we all know the term cold calling. Genuine engagement is that's what's going to help you succeed. So if your goal is to be an influencer, you're starting out as micro, even macros will know this. Sometimes macros grow to be so huge that they stop engaging altogether. Lucky them, but like you need to hustle and sort of flex on this social platform that's so much competition. So 20 minutes a day engaging with other people in your niche. If you're a foodie, look up the hashtag foodies of Vancouver if that's where you're located. Start communicating with them. You'll find out that actually a lot of them are really happy to help you grow and give you a follow and send you encouragement because they've done the work themselves. Again, posting regularly. Any person who enters your DMs or leaves you a comment, consider them your biggest fan. So I love this analogy that if you're at a rock concert, like I'm the rock star, my audience is huge, but no one's singing along. Is that a successful rock concert? No. So anyone who leaves you a comment, sends you a DM, show them the time that they gave you and respond and engage that way. And you'll see that your engagement rate will skyrocket, as well as using relevant hashtags. I'm all about hashtag strategy, especially during growth. That's another thing that I love to provide value to for our influencers is a lot of them were like, I noticed that my post isn't doing so well. I wonder what that could be. And I'll be like, well, let me check it out. I'll go see that they've used a hashtag that's also it's considered spammy. Even if something sounds very, very innocent, like MUAs of Instagram, there's actually online tools that you can check hashtags to make sure they're not going to get your content shadow banned. So if you use a spammy hashtag that you think is really innocent, but don't know that Instagram...
What is that even? Sorry, explain. What's a spammy hashtag? What does that mean?
Okay, I actually just mentioned this a couple weeks ago to our community as well. If I'm an influencer and I'm a cook and I like to show off my amazing spread and it's Thanksgiving and I want to get new followers, my content is bomb, the picture is amazing, that includes my family, the lighting is perfect, my caption is perfect, and I use the hashtag Happy Thanksgiving, that hashtag is considered spammy and your post will be shadow banned. What that means is that it will not appear on the Discover page. It will not appear organically in feeds. The only people that will see your content are your existing followers.
Interesting. And why, like, so is that because it's basic, or like because you're like, what makes it spammy versus like what would be a comparison of a non-spammy Thanksgiving hashtag that you think is a great hashtag, for example?
So like just something simple like Thanksgiving in Vancouver or Thanksgiving with friends. But then again, you never know. It's up to the Instagram gods. So that's why there's really, you always have to please the gods or your post will be sacrificed. So I
Oh, I
recommend
love it.
using, there's actually a tool online called iqhashtags.com. And this is where you can actually copy and paste your hashtags and run them through a search filter. It's free. They do have like a premium package, but just to use the search function is totally free. And you can see out of those which ones are considered spam and which ones are not, because Instagram changes this up every day. I know it seems like a lot of work.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This is fascinating. Oh my God, you guys, you are learning so much. I know if I'm learning a lot about it, and I've been on Instagram for 8 years, that you guys must be getting a ton out of this too. So let's real quickly, I see a couple other questions. What are some other tools that might be out there for someone who's an influencer? Obviously, ShopShout, best tool, you guys. It's free to sign up. Go get this amazing assistance. But what are some other tools that you've used or that you like to use, or is that pretty much the one?
Well, for obviously, I'm going to say ShopShout's best because it is. You'll see. So our influencers, they're not just ShopShout exclusive people. These fabulous people are hustling. So there's competition out there. That's fine. I want influencers to get more products and more content and grow. What they're not going to get from the others, because I research, I go on Instagram and I will look up a competitor and I will go, oh, wow, 170 comments. What are they doing that I'm not for engagement? And every comment is like, will you please check your DMs? That's where we're different. We are here to support no matter what. So us as a tool, especially for growth, you want to work with brands, you want to grow. Hey, are you macro? We've got stuff for you too. We do have paid campaigns. We've got giveaway campaigns. We're great as a tool for growth and producing content. Again, the IQ hashtags, that is an amazing tool for making sure that your posts won't get shadow banned. Using online platforms that are free like Canva. On image size, you can actually see if you do the research, when you post in either a landscape mode, portrait mode, or square mode, one of those continually does better than the other, and that is portrait mode. So if you use something like Canva, you can create a design, use customized dimensions. It's really easy to look it up what these dimensions are, and then just plug your photo into that. So
awesome.
Yeah, on Instagram, size matters. It really does.
I mean, that makes sense. That the bigger the image, like the more someone's going to visually engage with it. That makes a whole lot of sense.
Exactly.
Are there any like editing tools that you've seen your influencers use that you guys really like for like editing the photo or the videos themselves?
Absolutely. Yeah, we do it. Everything that's on our Instagram, we use preset from Adobe Lightroom. So when you land on an Instagram profile, you have an average of 3 seconds to actually impress a new follower. If you don't, they're going to scoot. They're going to be done with you. But if your feed is dreamy and has a consistent flow to it, which is why we use a really light preset, it's not very filtery, it's more of a lighting, then we can get people to continue to scroll because it's like harmonious. It all flows. So using presets in Lightroom, that's a great one too. Editing wise, yeah, I highly suggest that.
So would you say that the lighting is the most important kind of feature or factor of a video or a photo, as opposed to layout or color or contrast? Is really just that lighting what makes it wonderful?
I think so. It depends. Not everyone can afford a ring light. That's fine. Go outside. That light's free. Um, that's fine. I would say the most important thing for doing a post, honestly, it's not necessarily lighting, it's not size, it's not filter. It's if you're especially posting for a brand, go visit the brand's Instagram, go visit the brand's website. What are their colors? What are their tones? If I'm working for a brand that their Instagram and their website is very light and airy, white backgrounds, they have pops of baby blue, and then I'm posting with their product in a dark kitchen that's got black cupboards, what are the chances of the brand repurposing my content for more exposure? Probably very slim because it doesn't go with the brand's tonality and alignment. So do your research on the brand. Show them that you love them. Thank them for the product. Get your post featured, both on their Instagram, which could have hundreds of thousands of followers, or on their website. You never know. They could even use that asset as an out of home we spoke about earlier. You could see that
Get
amazing.
yourself on a billboard. Hell
Get
yeah.
on a billboard. Get on a bus stop. Like, you never know.
Absolutely. That's super cool. All right, we got a couple more questions in here. Would you consider an emoji to be an actual interaction? Like if someone's leaving an emoji comment on your photo, on your video, is that the same value as if someone leaves like a couple words or a sentence? Do you treat kind of all comments with the same amount of attention? What's your opinion around that?
That's a really good question. I think using emojis in your captions is a brilliant idea because it's captivating and it's relevant to each sentence. It's showing tonality. Where if I write something and ask an engaging question like, what do you want to see new at Shop and Shout? Drop some brands in the comments and we'll reach out to them. And then someone comments with like a heart emoji. They're not going to get the same response from me as one of our highly engaged influencers who would say, that's a great question. I'd love to see more beauty brands or more fashion brands. And I'll be like, absolutely, Vanessa, thanks for your input. Just so you know, we have a referral program. If you connect us with brands, you could get $500. So they're going to get a response like that, where if someone leaves a little emoji, which I can also tell sometimes if people have bots running their accounts, which is a big social media no-no, don't even think about it. It's bad. So
no.
No, if you're leaving a comment that includes an emoji, or if someone's asking for an emoji, like describe your weekend using emojis right now, go for it. But if it's not genuine, you're not gonna
So you
impress
kind
anyone.
of are responding in kind to the attention that you're getting. So they leave an emoji, maybe they get an emoji back. But if they're taking the time to really write something to you, you're going to take the time to like respond with that same amount of attention and time put into it.
100%. Engagement's key, especially when it's genuine.
Oh, this is a great one here from a Facebook user. How important is brand loyalty when companies are choosing their influencers, and vice versa when an influencer is choosing to work with a brand? Like if I do a promotion for Think Bar, should I not do a promotion for any other protein bars? Like what are your thoughts around that?
If you are hired by a brand to become an ambassador, so you've opted into a Shop and Show campaign, the brand loves you. They reach out to you, not even through us, which they should be doing, but they reach out to you because they love it so much and say, I think we actually would like to have you on our ambassador team. At that point, when it becomes a regular relationship, best practice is be loyal. Don't be gross. Like, just don't be tacky.
Yep.
So if I'm offered an amazing brand deal with a brand and then a competitor comes back and says, oh, we'd love to collaborate with you, an influencer with integrity would be like, thank you so much for the offer. I actually would recommend you reaching out to my friend so-and-so who's also a foodie and fitness junkie.
Share the love.
Share the love, but also be respectful. It can be such a gross little industry sometimes. And I like to see when people do have brand loyalty that way. But if it's a one-time campaign and, you got your score and your shout out, the brand was like, great job. And then next month, there's a similar brand in the Shop and Shout campaign hub. You really love this first experience. Why not try this one now? That's fine. That's totally fine.
Cool. Okay, that's really helpful. I think some influencers get a little scared in terms of like looking unloyal or looking like they're fake, so to speak, by saying, well, I tried out 2 different brands in the same, let's say, month or 2 months. But the fact is, I think you speak well of this, is like, as human beings, I like every kind of chocolate cake. Like, I'm not going to just eat one kind of chocolate cake and be like, this is the only chocolate cake I like. Like, all the chocolate cakes win, even the gluten-free chocolate cakes, you guys. So
that's an excellent point, because if I have a fitness influencer who loves this protein bar and posts to their audience, be like, guys, this gave me so much energy, I didn't get a midday crash. And they get a comment from a couple people who are following them like, oh, I would love to try that, but it's not gluten-free, I'm celiac. Maybe it's a review from a trusted influencer, someone that you go to for information, you trust them. They have their next campaign with another workout bar that is gluten-free. The influencer can use that. Like, I remember that some of my followers were interested in me finding a great gluten-free protein bar. Guess what, guys? This one's for you. So you're still adding value to, it's not a cookie cutter community, cookie cutter followers. So
no, that makes a lot of sense. That it's almost like, instead of just seeing, as the influencer, seeing yourself as a promotional tool, you're almost like the review site for the protein bars. So like, as long as you're pointing out why you liked that protein bar or how it might be different from the other protein bars that you have tried, it's still very authentic and providing almost a higher level of value, because you're not just like, hey guys, I like this, it tastes great. You're like, I like this one because it tastes great and didn't make me crash. I like this one because it's gluten-free. I like this one because it was low carb. Like, what all the different reasons are that you really, truly, authentically liked something provides even a higher level of value to your audience.
100%. 100%. Always be a review agent over a promotional model. That is how you're going to get your following. That's how you're going to get new followers. That's how you're going to get an engaged community. You're a trusted voice. You're not just like, this is the best glass of water I've ever had. It's more like, I love this. Yeah,
no,
it's genuine.
I think that's a great point, especially because people have different tastes. It's much better to give your reasons why you like something. That way, when someone disagrees, they're not disagreeing with you as a person. They're just like, oh, I have different tastes. So when you say, I liked this protein bar because it was really sweet, when someone goes, I think those are gross because they're too sweet, they're not going to stop following you. They just realize that their taste buds are different than that influencer's, and that's totally fine. And in fact, it almost becomes kind of like a fun game at that point. And I see that question came from Jennifer, Miss DeWalt. And I know that, Jennifer, you gotta sign up for Shop and Shout. I think it would be huge for you. She's an amazing influencer, super good content, but also struggles kind of with like that brand loyalty factor, in terms of like feeling really attached to one particular brand because she loves that brand. So let's just speak about that a little more. Let's say you're like Jennifer and you really, really do sincerely love one brand over all the rest mostly. Would you suggest that they just kind of stick with that one brand, or is it still good to take brand deals or do, these kind of promotions for other brands, as long as you're giving the honest opinion about like, and again, you don't have to do it in the context, I think, of it's not as good as my favorite brand, but just pointing things out about it, like kind of being a review influencer. Is that something that is good, helps as an influencer in terms of the influencer side, trying to build up their brand, build up their opportunities?
Jennifer, unless that brand is offering you a contract with dollar signs attached to it, you do not have to be loyal to them specifically. If I love a foundation brand that I can't stop posting about, if Fenty comes out with something that I want to try and I'm not legally bound to that one and I happen to want to review Fenty, that's my prerogative. It's my Instagram feed. Like makeup like MUAs and skincare gurus, that's a perfect example, is that unless they're a brand rep for the company, their followers are there because they look to them to review a product launch first. Is this worth my money? You said it first, Sephora is crazy expensive. So before people go and buy at Sephora, they look to their favorite beauty gurus, makeup tutorials, or blogs. So I say, if you have brand loyalty, how loyal is the brand to you? It's a two-way street. It's a two-way relationship. Don't be afraid to get that money, honey.
That's awesome. I love that advice. So great. Well, you've given us so much of your time. I truly, truly appreciate this. I know that I personally have walked away here with a ton of great info, a couple tools
Yay.
I'm going to start using, some ways I'm going to optimize my Instagram. I'm super excited about it. If people want to get in touch with you, obviously, you guys, the website is shopandshout.com. I'm going to create a quick little banner so people can see that. But how would people, let's say, especially brands, is the website the best way as a brand to get in touch? Should they reach out to you directly through some social platform?
Yeah, so actually the landing page of shopandshout.com directly says it for influencers, for brands. So if you're an influencer, you want to sign up for free, go for it. If you're a brand and you want to book a demo, absolutely. That's another part.
What's
You
a
can
demo?
either,
Tell me. What's book a
yeah,
demo?
book a demo. You want to see more about how it works from the brand side? There's so much more. If anyone's watching who is a brand, there's so much more you haven't seen. We'll actually book an online conversation with you, walk you through the process, as well as get to know your brand and its needs and come up with suggestions like what sort of package should it be a shout out? Should it be a giveaway? What's your budget? Who do you want to work with? Like it's a very honest conversation because again, we're genuine. If you're going to spend your money, we're going to do a good job.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys, a business like this, it doesn't work if you're just taking people's money one time. So you have to provide value because they're looking for people who stick with them for years and years and years. That's where they really get to make their money from. And to do that, they have to deliver not only a high kind of level of value, but a high level of service. So I really love the way that your business is structured. I think you've done a phenomenal job so far, and I'm excited to kind of dive a little deeper into it myself on the brand side. I think I've pretty much shied away mostly from the whole influencer brand deals realm for the most part because it's like you said, it's a ton of work. There's not a lot of payout unless same thing on the influencer side, unless you're committed to it long term. Like probably don't get into it. You're not going to make a quick buck. It's a lot of work. There's a lot of commitment. There's a lot of skill to be learned and tested with and learning along the way. So I'm excited because I think that support system and the value that you guys are delivering is something that I haven't seen offered by honestly any other agency out there. Other agencies listening, come at me. Let me know what you got. I want to know. But again, I just really, really appreciate your time coming on here. Guys, check out shopandshout.com and join me again tomorrow night as we have another really amazing guest. Thank you so much.